Welcome to What's Your Story. We are so excited to have our guest today, and I know you're going to love her. She's just wonderful. Her name is Rebekah Wolff, and Rebekah is a cancer survivor, as am I, as you know, and she's written a wonderful book for children about the experience of their mother having cancer. So it's going to be a great interview, so stick with us. You're going to love it. Welcome, Rebekah. We're glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me here. It's such an honor.
Well, it's just wonderful. Now, you've been a survivor of breast cancer for about 11 years now, is that right?
Correct.
And you were stage 3 and quite young.
Yes.
Yes. So tell us how you felt when they said to you, you have cancer.
Oh, that day, that was a hard day. It was one of the things where they didn't do it in person, actually.
Oh.
They told me over the phone,
Oh,
which
no.
was maybe good because I was able to probably cry at home. It was very hard to take. I'm gonna be honest, it was very surreal. I was 27. I was a mom of the 2-year-old. I was working a couple jobs. I was married. So I think when I heard that, it didn't feel like it was actually like they were talking to me.
I know.
I didn't know anything about cancer at that time.
Yeah, that was like me. I had no experience with it. No one in my family had ever had it. And the doctor looked at me and he said, well, you have cancer. And it was like the bottom of the world fell out. You were just kind of
Exactly.
yeah, so it's shocking, isn't it? It's really,
It is.
really shocking. Now, you went ahead and did chemo and radiation both and lost all your hair and went through all of those transitions. So what did you do to recover, to get back to having great hair like you have right now?
It was a lot of inner strength and work and a lot of support systems, friends, even not being able to work my jobs. My colleagues were supportive in the time frame I was gone. I worked with a lot of children. I was getting even just like get well cards from children and pictures. I read a lot of books, and the biggest one that shifted my life was Louise Hay.
Of course, that was me too. I watched
Yeah.
her video at least a million times. I could have quoted it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Louise Hay's made a big difference in a lot of women's lives.
She really has, and that's where I originally met you. Is when that conference out in San Diego. She was there as a guest speaker.
That's right. I was trying to remember because I knew we had met before, but I couldn't remember where. That was at the Louise Hay conference, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And I was just, when you admire someone so much and then all of a sudden you see them in the same room as you, it's very hard to control my excitement. But I had a conversation and I got to take a picture and she signed her autograph on my notebook.
How cool.
And just gracious lady, and how she is in meditations was how she was talking to her in person. She was no different.
Right, right. She was a lovely woman, a lovely, lovely woman. So now you've gone on and gotten your master's in counseling, and you're a licensed professional counselor? Is that what you are?
Correct. Yes.
Wow. Wow. So what kind of people do you work with?
All kinds, actually. I work with children and adolescents, individual adult therapy, couples therapy, and I work in Wisconsin, but I also work for a place called BetterHelp, and that's online international counseling. So I have clients in 16 countries in addition to Wisconsin.
That's amazing. Clients. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
So what's the name of the book? And then I want to know what motivated you to write it.
Yeah. The name of the book, which I have right here, is Dear
see.
God, Please Make My Mommy Feel Better.
Yeah, we're going to put it up on the screen
wonderful.
as well, but I wanted you just to show it for a minute. It's Dear God, please make my mommy feel well, right?
Feel better.
Feel better.
Yeah. It was actually inspired by my daughter, who would actually recite that prayer when I would go to a doctor's office.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so that's what she could do for me at that young age of 2 to support me. But she recited it. I'm not sure if she knew the impact of the prayer, but it didn't stop her from doing it every time. And so she inspired this. And I have a lot of people I know that are getting diagnosed at younger ages with cancer with younger children.
Yes.
And so I really wanted to write a book for children that are having parents go through cancer and that they're not alone.
Oh, That is so important because, well, it's bad enough when you're the person going through the cancer and
Right.
experiencing it, but to have a small child who really doesn't understand what's going on at all, and to have this great book that mommy can read to the child and then make it okay to talk about it.
Exactly. And I have resources at the end of the book as well that children can do for their parents and what parents can do for their children. So there's some tips in there.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So share with us, what did you learn from this cancer experience?
I really learned that I became cancer free, but I really learned that it was a gift. I got a second chance at life, and I wanted to shift my life a little bit to serve my purpose and helping other people. And that, when you're a cancer patient, your life is like turned upside down. I couldn't work my normal jobs. Everything just felt surreal. And I really wanted to make my life and time count. So in the future, I wanted to shift it where, I went through this really terrible experience, terrible, awesome all at once. What can I do to serve people in the future? And I think that the cancer taught me, like, even though you're sick, you can still outreach, you can help other people. So I mentored other women like me that were going through cancer. I did a lot of mentoring during that time that I was sick.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I know for me it was the same thing. It was like when I went through the cancer, I realized that I had to change my lifestyle. I was too stressed out. I was working too hard. I was traveling too much, and I wasn't taking care of me. And I think that's one of the things that women, especially young women with young children, don't take care of themselves as well as they should be.
Oh, I agree. I didn't put myself first before the cancer as much as my daughter. Although she inspired me to get better, though, at the same time. Her being so young and innocent and 2 years old, I really wanted to be around for her as she grew up. So that inspired me to make a change in self-care. Not just self-care with like physical, like nutrition, diet, but emotional self-care, mental self-care to build my self-esteem. So I went through a whole wave of different changes.
How did you, how did how did that impact your shift in career and your focus?
It really made me want to help more people. I was working in a school and I started to mentor a lot of cancer patients, teenagers at risk. I started doing a lot of speaking as well. And because of all those different unique experiences, I really wanted to just kind of combine it into like counseling as a profession because I was doing so much of it at a time that I couldn't keep up with the amount of organizations. I think at 5 organizations volunteering
Wow.
before I got in the field.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. Now, what helped you cope with that cancer journey?
A lot of it was reading like the works of Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, listening to motivational speakers, reading books about other people that went through cancer. Not so much the books where doom and gloom, but more inspiring and what they did to get through different mindsets. A little bit, I'm a little eclectic, so a little bit of religion with like Bible verses along with the spiritual stuff and empowerment type things that I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Really kind of helped me. I had a lot of support groups around me, so I joined a number of young women support groups, and knowing that you're not alone helped me feel not alone and feel more excited about my life that, I could make it through. I have
think
what I
that
need.
it's so important that knowing that you're not alone, what you just said, that is so very important. When I was going through it, my doctor told me to go take art lessons, and I thought the man had lost his mind. Why would I take art lessons? And he said, because then you'll sit still and be quiet for 3 hours at a time. And it was one of the greatest things I did for myself because it's like meditation. Did you meditate?
Here and there, I did a little bit of art. I've seen your art. I'm not as good as you are, but I've done art therapy as well.
Oh, good
You
for
can't.
you. Oh, I love it. Because,
Yeah.
I'd never painted before, and this was a new thing for me. And I'm so excited. I want everybody else to do it too. So I'm really glad to hear that you're painting.
Yeah, I was told by the person at the time I could do ugly art because the emotions I felt were so raw and ugly and scary that they gave me permission to create my art how I was feeling on the inside. I always thought you had to have like a pretty picture So having that permission to just share how I was feeling on the inside, I really love that type of art therapy a lot.
Oh, yes. I had never heard that term before, ugly art.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
cool.
it exists.
Well, I don't think it was probably ugly when you did it.
Yeah. And that therapist in general, she was an art therapist, but she also went through breast cancer herself. So she showed me examples of her ugly art when
Oh,
she went through cancer too.
that's amazing. I want to see
Hmm.
pictures next time we talk. I want to see the ugly art.
I don't know if I have them any. I think it was that experience where you're just kind of numb and you're trying something new, and but
Yeah.
that experience is kind of sat in my memory for a long time. And I tell that with people as a counselor with journaling, do ugly journaling. Do what you have to do to release those emotions out of you. You heal a little bit quicker.
Exactly. And that journaling helps, doesn't it, to write down how you're
Uh,
feeling? Because, you know, no matter how much somebody around you sees you suffering, they don't really understand it. They don't really know it, and they can't really help you. So talking to them about it, you know, after a while they get kind of tired of hearing it. So the journaling is perfect because you can write all you want to say about anything every day.
hmm And there's such a therapeutic effect in that, and also you realize when you do it multiple times, it doesn't bother you as much the more you write about it.
Yeah.
You can move on to the next thing.
I'm a journaler. I do that every day. I write. But what I try to do now is I try to write something every day. What did I achieve today? And at the end of the day, I write down what I achieved that day. And then that way, when I look back through it, I can go, oh, wow, I did that and I did that and I did. Good for me. You know, it's kind of cool. I like,
I do a little bit something similar, like positive journaling as well.
yeah.
It's very helpful because it helps you regain your focus on the positive thinking a bit.
Yeah, yeah. And do you do what I do? Do you collect all kinds of positive quotes and pictures and things and stick them in a journal?
I do actually. I'm a little bit of both, like paper journal and like a document online. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do little collages.
I know. I love it. I love it because, you know, visualization is a big part of healing.
Yeah,
And when you've got those pictures there of the way you want to be, the way you want to be healthy, what you want to look like, what you want to feel like, and you've got those words and you can visualize it, you can see it in your mind, then you can make it happen.
exactly. I love that stuff. Even a little bit of vision board
Mm.
uh, helps a little bit every so often now and then.
Yeah, all of my coaching clients do vision boards. We do that the first of every year, and then we put them all up for each other to see, and then all year we hold you accountable for it.
And have you had some of your vision boards come true?
All of them.
Awesome.
All of them. They always come true. In fact, you know what? I got so upset last year because I had a bucket list. And I had done all these pictures and put them on my vision board of my bucket list. You know? And I finally got to do the last thing on my bucket list. I went to Africa and did a hot air balloon safari over the Serengeti Desert when the wildebeest were migrating. You know, that was on my bucket list. I did it. So I did the last thing and I came home and I went, uh-oh, do I have to die now, or do I have to start a new bucket list, you know? Because I had 20 things on the bucket list, and then that was the last thing. And deep down in my heart, I think I never really believed it would come true. And there it was, and I went, and it was amazing.
That sounds incredible.
It was incredible. But I'm a big believer in having a bucket list, having goals, writing things down, visualizing, journaling, and I see that you are too, and I'm really glad to hear that.
Yes, I do. I love it. One of the manifestations would have been my book.
Yes, yes. So what would you like other people to know about you or about the journey or what they can do?
That regardless whether they have cancer or no cancer, that they can still take the tools and coping mechanisms that we shared today and still make their life and better. You don't want to wait until you have cancer to start shifting your life for the better. And I know for me, I've lived a little bit risky. I kind of take the bull by the horns. I came to that conference where I met you. I learned things. I'm not afraid to try things. And I think cancer gave me that gift of like having courage. I
Yes.
became less afraid in life, and I started to try things that I probably normally wouldn't have tried. So going to that conference, and that was, for me, that was a big deal because here I was in the Midwest, and I got to go to this conference in California, meet all these big time people, and that was intimidating. And I flew by myself. So it gave me a lot of courage to go after things I didn't think I really, kind of like you said, your shadow belief. I don't know if I could actually achieve this. I didn't know I was going to achieve my master's in counseling, let alone counsel international people, let alone run a coaching business, write a book, get on a second book. So there's so many things that cancer gave me that gift.
Oh, I know. I look back on that time, and I'm not wishing anybody would get cancer. I certainly wasn't happy that I had it, but what it gave me in life was amazing. I changed everything. Did you change the way you eat? Did you change the foods that you eat?
Yes, I did change. I struggle. I'm human, but I have my moments. So for the most part, yes. Compared to what I ate, cancer is really different how I eat now. There's so much, and that's what Louise Hay said too. And passing her at that conference, she's obviously a survivor. And then I said I was going through cancer, and she's like, "Did you change your diet? Are you eating nutrition food?" And you just say yes because it's Louise Hay. yes, I did. I didn't eat pizza last night. I did. But no, I'm more mindful. And I'm 39, so I know as I get older, I have to pay more attention to cholesterol, heart. So I'm more mindful what I eat now anyway.
Yeah, you don't look 39, but I think it's really important that you are mindful of the way you eat and of taking care of yourself and getting rest. That's so important, and your exercise. My whole lifestyle changed. I changed everything about my lifestyle.
Wonderful. Yeah, exercise is really important, just moving your body. I like to dance, actually. I'm not a professional dancer, but I like to dance and do those home exercises at home. That gets the blood flowing.
It's a good thing that you do dance. My doctor told me that that our lymph nodes have like a little lid on them, like it lifts up and down, and that the only way you can really get your blood to move through your lymph nodes or your lymph fluid or whatever it is regularly is for you to make those lids go up and down. So you have to jump up and down, and he made me get one of those bouncer things, and he said you don't have to jump on it, but just bounce up and down so that you get your body doing that to make everything go through the lymph nodes properly and stay clean. And so that made a big difference for me as well, because I never bounced around. I didn't like exercise. I was the kid in PE, that wouldn't dress out. I was always sick. I told everybody I had my period every single day for 3 years or something at high school, so I wouldn't have to dress out. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing those things, because it's so important. That diet was such a big part of it.
It is. Diet, mindset too, and the support, like you said, the hopes, your visions, all of it. It was a big learning experience altogether.
It was for me too. It really was. I was constantly talking to God all day long, every day. I was telling God that this wasn't fair, that it was time to get me well, because this just wasn't fair. I'd worked so hard to take care of other people, and now it was my turn. And some of my friends were like, "Do you just go around talking to God all the time? Don't you just sit down?" I'm like, "No, I can talk to God wherever I am. It's okay." So, but I think God took care of me, and it's been 14 years now. So yeah, I'm old, and I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. So it's kind of cool. And I'm so glad to see you this way, especially because you have this wonderful young daughter. How old is she now?
14.
Wow, she's growing up, huh?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's growing up now. And so your combination of your faith and your hope, and it's making you put together some incredible books. You're doing this book, which, tell us again the name.
Dear God, please make my mommy feel better.
I love that. I think it's wonderful. And then you're in another book as well, right?
Yeah, Be Resilient, which is other co-authors, like maybe 6 of us, and then we all write a chapter on how we overcame resiliency, or how we can be
how you were resilient,
overcame hardship.
Yes.
And I wrote a chapter on overcoming adoption trauma, and what that experience meant to me.
Were you adopted?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
So this cancer wasn't your first hardship.
No, I had a hardship right at birth. I almost died at birth. I was neglected in a hut and was malnourished, and I was found and put into an orphanage, and from there then I was adopted.
How old were you
A couple weeks old.
when you were adopted?
2 months, I think, something like that,
Yeah.
between 2 to 5 months.
Yeah. And was that family in Wisconsin?
Yeah, yeah. So they were American missionaries, and actually they were living in the Philippines for a few years. So they had to go between the U.S. Embassy and the Philippine Embassy to get this adoption process to go through. But because I was so sick, the social workers, they kind of sped up my adoption quicker for my parents to get me sooner, because I was just, my health wasn't the greatest. And as soon as they got me, I was healthy because I just needed like consistent milk and basic food needs. That's all it was. So I was literally in those orphanages back in the 80s where you'd walk in and all the babies would put their arms up to be held.
Oh.
So they said it was very hard to walk away just getting one baby when there were so many babies in need at that
Yes.
time.
Yes. But they must be wonderful people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got really lucky.
And so you still live in Wisconsin and you've got snow, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. There's snow, cold air. This is typical. We kind of hibernate as people for like 6 months once the cold air hits. So we do all everything activities in the summer or the fall as much as possible, the spring.
Yeah, so this is a good hibernation time for you to get another book done, right?
Yeah, yes. I do have another one in the future, wanting to do a journal for adolescents with cancer. So a
Oh,
prompt journal, yeah.
that breaks my heart when I see these children going through cancer. It just breaks my heart.
It
When
really
I,
does.
oh, when I
It's so
see
young.
those little kids on TV, I just want to take them and hug them and say it's going to be better and make it better for them. But I don't know that I can. The only thing we can do, like right now, is maybe donate money for Shriners
Right.
Hospital or places like that so that they can get the care they need.
Absolutely. Pray. And then so I know I work with adolescents and counseling, but not adolescents with cancer yet. But I did have family members that were diagnosed in that age group, so it does hit home a little bit for me as well, to be able to help that group in the future.
Oh, yes. So yes, for sure. So tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can get your books.
Absolutely. So the Dear God, Please Make My Mommy book is right on Amazon. And the Be Resilient one is going to drop on January 31st on Amazon. I believe there might be a electronic version of that book right now, but the paperback will drop on the 31st.
Great.
Angelwingscoaching.com is my website.
I like that. Angel Wings Coaching. Do you believe
Thank
in
you.
angels?
What was that?
Do you believe in angels?
I do. My real name is Angelina. So my
Ah.
birth name is Angelina. So it's actually a spin off my birth name into the title of my coaching business, Angel Wings Care and Coaching by Rebekah.
I really like that. It's very, very nice. And I like all your pink there. That's in support of breast cancer, right?
Yes, I even have pink earrings. You probably can't see with my hair, but yeah,
Oh,
pink earrings.
yeah, we can see. Oh, you are in pink.
Yes, pink watch. Yeah. I even have a pink phone.
Oh my goodness, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes,
love
I
it.
wanted to do
I
that.
love it. Well, is there anything else you'd like the audience to know?
That's a good question. To take care of themselves emotionally, physically, all the self-care is mentally, be kind to yourself. One of the biggest words of wisdom I got from someone that was older than me when I got diagnosed with cancer, she told me to love myself even more during that time. She's like, did you ever hear of people hating themselves or hating their body? They want to fight themselves because they have cancer. You don't want to fight, Rebekah. You want to love, and you want to love yourself even more than you did before.
That is amazing advice.
It actually changed my life, along with Louise Hay and all the other one, because she was local and she was face to face. And when she told me that, she meant that. I was like, okay, I will love myself. I don't care how it will take or what it will take. I will do that. And that really taught me. It was so wise. I didn't understand the concept right away until I started to do the journey of having cancer.
Yes, yes.
Before
Someone
then.
told me to actually hug myself, to hug
Oh.
myself and say, I love you. And I started doing it. I would look in the mirror and do it, throughout the cancer. And I honestly believe it helps. I think my body went, okay, good. She loves
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah, like it listens.
I know it does. So I think that was excellent advice that you gave. Well, I know that people are going to be ordering your book off of Amazon. I know that it's a book that every young mother should have for her children. And so I encourage my audience members to go to Amazon and buy your book because it's a lovely book. It really is. And I thank you so much for being here with me today and with my audience. I know they're going to love you as much as I do. And
Aw, thank you.
so thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to you for watching us. My audience members, I appreciate you, and I hope you'll tune in for our next episode next week. Thank you.